In the quiet hills of Virginia, one man's amazing story still puzzles scientists today. The tall trees and rolling mountains of Shenandoah National Park hold many secrets, but none as strange as what happened to one of their most loyal workers, Roy Sullivan, park ranger, father, husband, and the man who was hit by lightning not once, not twice, but 7 times and lived to tell about it. Every time the sky darkened, he wondered if nature was hunting him. Every storm cloud became a possible enemy. His story is so rare that he got into the Guinness Book of World Records. No one else in known history has been struck so many times and survived. Behind this shocking tale is a deep story about a man who kept on going even when nature seemed to be against him. Born in February 1912, Roy Cleveland Sullivan grew up in the shadow of the Blue Ridge Mountains. He was a simple man with simple goals. From a young age, he felt drawn to the forests and streams of Virginia. The peaceful woods would later become both his workplace and the setting for his unbelievable story. For 36 years, Sullivan worked as a park ranger in Virginia's Shenandoah National Park. He loved being outside. He cared for nature. But nature, it seemed, had other plans for him. Day after day, he patrolled the same paths, checked the same campgrounds, and watched over the same slice of wilderness. He had no idea that in 1942, a flash from the sky would change his life forever. What makes Roy's story so special isn't just that he was hit by lightning 7 times. It's that he lived through all of them. Most people don't survive even one direct hit. The chance of being hit by lightning once in your life is about 1 in 15,000. The chance of being hit 7 times and living? Almost zero. We're talking about something so unlikely that it shouldn't happen to anyone, ever. And yet, it happened to Roy Sullivan. But Roy's life was full of the almost impossible. His first lightning strike came in April 1942. He was doing his job, watching for fires during a spring thunderstorm. He was hiding from the storm in a fire tower, which should have been safe. Most people would feel protected inside a building. The tower had no lightning rod, though. That was the first mistake. A bolt hit the tower and set it on fire. Roy knew he had to get out fast. He ran from the burning tower, trying to reach safety. But as he ran, something impossible happened. He was hit by what he later called a bolt from the blue. The lightning found him anyway. It burned a half-inch strip all the way down his right leg, made a hole in his shoe, and knocked off his big toenail. The pain was unlike anything he had ever felt. And this was only the start of Roy Sullivan's strange journey with lightning. To understand Roy's wild story, we need to know about lightning. Each bolt has up to 1 billion volts of power. That's about 100 times stronger than the electricity in your house. Lightning can heat the air around it to 50,000 degrees, 5 times hotter than the sun's surface. That's why lightning is so deadly. It's like a piece of the sun reaching down to touch the earth. When lightning hits a person, the massive power can stop their heart instantly. It can burn their skin, both inside and out. It can mess up the signals in their brain, causing memory problems that last forever. It can burst blood vessels, damage hearing, and cause wounds that never fully heal. About 1 in 10 people die when struck by lightning. Those who live often have problems that last the rest of their lives. But why are some people more likely to get it? And did Roy have something special in his body that pulled lightning to him like a magnet? Today's science says genes don't make you attract lightning. You don't inherit lightning attraction from your parents. 3 things matter most: height, metal things, and where you were when storms hit. At 6 feet 2 inches, Roy was quite tall, making him stand out in open spaces. As a park ranger, he worked outside all the time, even during bad weather. And he wouldn't stop working even when storms came. He just kept doing his job. Many people think metal attracts lightning. That's not quite right. Metal doesn't attract lightning from far away, but once lightning is close, metal helps guide where it goes. Roy carried metal keys, a metal belt buckle, and sometimes a metal ranger badge. Each of these might have helped guide lightning to him once it decided to strike nearby. Roy's second strike came in July 1969, many years after the first. He was driving his truck down a mountain road in the park when lightning hit some trees near the road and then jumped to his open truck window. The scientific name for this is a side flash, when lightning hits one thing and then jumps to another. The hit knocked Roy out cold and burned off his eyebrows and eyelashes. His truck kept rolling down the mountain road while he was unconscious. It almost went off the edge of the mountain before it finally stopped against a small tree. When Roy woke up, his eyebrows were gone, and his face felt like it was on fire. But somehow he was still alive. He had survived again. But the fear in his mind was just starting to grow. Roy was beginning to wonder if these strikes were really just bad luck, or if something more strange was happening to him. By the early 1970s, Roy had lived through 2 lightning strikes. Most people never experience even one. But the worst was still coming for Roy Sullivan. Lightning wasn't done with him yet. In 1970, while in his front yard at home, Roy was hit a third time. This time he wasn't even in the park or up on a mountain. He was just at home, where most people feel safe. The lightning struck a power box nearby, then jumped to his shoulder. The pain was instant and terrible. It felt like being burned and punched at the same time. His family said Roy started to think some invisible force was trying to kill him. This wasn't just being scared. It was the beginning of a deep belief that somehow he had been marked by something that wanted him dead. Roy began carrying water with him everywhere he went, in case his hair caught fire from another strike. He was preparing for the next hit, not just hoping it wouldn't happen. Friends said he would stop his car during storms and lie down on the front seat until the storm passed. He would refuse to go outside if there were dark clouds. He would run between buildings, even in light rain. His life became ruled by his fear of the sky. But being careful wasn't enough. In 1972, while working inside a ranger station, a place that should have been safe, lightning found him again. This was his fourth hit. The bolt somehow got into the building, set his hair on fire, and threw him across the room like a doll. Roy said he heard a huge boom before he passed out. When other rangers found him, they thought he might be dead. His hair was still smoking, and he wasn't moving. But Roy Sullivan wouldn't die that easily. He woke up in pain, with burns across his body, but still alive. 4 lightning strikes and 4 survivals. The odds against this were astronomical, and Roy was starting to believe that these weren't accidents at all. People who live through lightning strikes often have brain problems later. Memory loss that comes and goes. Changes in how they act and think. Pain that won't go away no matter what medicine they take. Feeling sad all the time for no clear reason. These problems can make holding a job almost impossible. Yet Roy kept working as a park ranger year after year. He refused to let his injuries stop him. His 5th strike came in August 1973. Roy was checking the park when he saw a storm cloud that he said seemed to be following him. This wasn't just fear talking. He described watching the cloud change direction when he changed direction, as if it were hunting him. He tried to drive away from it, but the cloud, as Roy told it, followed him. When he thought he was safe and got out of his truck, zap, he was hit again, the 5th time in just over 30 years. The odds against this happening by pure chance were beyond calculation. Once more, his hair caught fire. Roy started carrying a can of water just for this reason, to put out his burning hair. This strike also hurt his shoulder badly and damaged his hearing. Each hit left him a little more injured, a little more scared, and a little more convinced that something unnatural was happening to him. What makes Roy's case so strange is how the lightning seemed to find him no matter where he went. Lightning usually takes the easiest path to the ground. In open spaces, a tall thing like a person can be that path. But Roy was hit in places that should have been safe, even in cars and buildings, which usually protect people because of something called the Faraday cage effect. Some scientists think something in his sweat might have made him more likely to be hit, like having more salt or metal in it than normal people. But there's no proof of this theory. Others think it was the metal things he carried as a ranger. His keys, buckle, and badge might have been enough to draw a lightning once it was already heading his way. But maybe the most likely reason was in his mind. Roy's growing fear of lightning might have made him notice every storm, and he might have called near misses direct hits when others wouldn't. Being almost hit by lightning can cause some of the same effects as a direct hit. It's possible some of Roy's strikes were actually very close calls that most people wouldn't have counted. But even if that's true, experiencing so many close lightning encounters is still almost impossible to explain by chance alone. Still, the burns on Roy's body were real. His injuries were documented by doctors. At least some of these strikes were definitely direct hits. June 5th, 1976. Strike number 6. Roy was checking a campsite in the park like he had done thousands of times before. The sky was clear when he started his rounds, but a storm blew in quickly. The lightning hit his ankle this time, hurting it badly and burning a path up to his stomach and chest. The force knocked him to the ground. He later said it felt like being hit with a hammer made of fire. As Roy lay hurt on the ground, unable to stand, he said he had to fight off a bear that was trying to steal fish from his cooler. According to Roy, the bear smelled his fish and thought Roy was too weak to defend his food. Even injured by lightning, Roy managed to scare the bear away. Hard to believe, isn't it? A lightning strike and a bear attack on the same day? It sounds like a made-up story. But people who knew Roy said he was honest. His stories never changed when he told them over and over. Park records confirm he reported both the lightning strike and the bear encounter the same day. His burns were real. The doctors who treated him confirmed the lightning injuries. By now, Roy was famous. People at the park called him the human lightning rod. Some visitors would ask to meet him just to see the man who couldn't be killed by lightning. Others stayed far away from him during storms, afraid that being near Roy meant being near lightning. He said even his wife was hit once while hanging clothes outside as he helped her. After that, she became as scared of storms as Roy was. The seventh and last strike came on June 25, 1977, while Roy was fishing in a small pond near his home. He was off duty, just trying to relax and enjoy a hobby he loved. The lightning hit the top of his head, burned his hair, went down through his body, and burned his chest and stomach. The pain was so bad that he had to crawl to his car to get help. Again, Roy said he had to fight off a bear from his fishing catch while he was hurt. It was the second time he reported fighting a bear right after being struck by lightning. Some people started to doubt his stories, but the lightning burns were always real and verified by doctors. The effect of many lightning strikes on the body is very serious. Each strike can harm the nerves, burn the skin, and damage organs. The heart is in big danger because lightning disrupts its natural rhythm. Many survivors have heart problems years later. It can lead to brain damage, causing memory problems, mood changes, and even personality shifts. Roy living through 7 strikes shows how tough the human body can be. But each hit was taking a toll. His nervous system was damaged. He had scars all over his body. His hearing was partly gone, and the mental effects were perhaps worst of all. By the end, he was convinced that supernatural forces were targeting him specifically. After his 7th strike, Roy's fear of lightning grew even stronger. He truly believed that something was trying to kill him. If he saw clouds forming, he would drive in the opposite direction. He installed extra lightning rods on his house. He would stay inside for days if storms were predicted. But the mental damage was already done. Roy couldn't escape his fear no matter what he did. Roy Cleveland Sullivan died on September 28, 1983. He was 71 years old. He had lived 41 years since his first lightning strike. He had survived odds that mathematicians struggled to calculate. But lightning didn't take his life in the end. In a sad twist that still haunts those who know his story, Roy took his own life with a gunshot. The man who couldn't be killed by nature's most powerful force chose to end his own journey. People say he was very sad about love problems. Some reports mention unrequited love, loving someone who didn't love him back. But some who knew him wondered if the stress from all those lightning strikes finally became too much. Did the fear wear him down? Did the pain from his many injuries become unbearable? Did he simply grow tired of waiting for the next strike, the next storm, the next bolt from the blue? His family has never spoken publicly about the reasons. They remember Roy as a good man who faced challenges most of us can't imagine. They prefer to honor his strength rather than focus on how his story ended. The mystery of Roy Sullivan remains unsolved by science even today. Roy Sullivan's life shows how strong humans can be. Even with all his bad luck, he kept living, working, and trying. Each time lightning knocked him down, he got back up. Each time it burned him, he healed and went back to work. If you are inspired by people overcoming impossible odds, make sure you are subscribed for our next First Achievers video.